All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott from Jeff Teaches Programming. In the last video, we started going over our FRM Employee Manager, and I'm going to continue with that on this video right here. Okay, so let's get back into it. Now, again, I've decided to write this in a different way. I don't know if it's better or if it's worse. All right, so I'm going to do a switch here on our employee type filter. And you already know what that is. In other words, that's, we're going to have, I'm just going to put it like this, case hourly. I've done this before. And break, case piece worker. Well, that was nice, wasn't it? Come on, stop it. And break, case commission, and break, and case salaried, and break. All right. Now, again, this is, believe it or not, when we get done with this will pretty much finish this up. Let's have a default in here also. And for now, we'll just say break as well. All right, so there's a lot of stuff we have to put in here. And again, remember, we're trying to do this so we're just using a single input box to cover everything. So we want to collect the hours worked and the hourly rate. So we have to collect from the user the hours worked and the hourly rate and validate each of them. Okay, now we don't have to do this, but I am going to go back up to the top here, and here I'm going to add some constants. Again, I could do this in a lot of ways. I'm just doing it like this, good, bad, indifferent. You don't like it, change it around any way you'd like, okay? So, whoops. Const, decimal, min hours equal 0.00m. Const decimal max hours equal 84.00m. Const decimal min hourly rate equals 0.00m. Const decimal max hourly rate equals 99.99m. Now, we're going to add our other ones later. Let's just do it like this for now. All right. So that's what we'll use for now. Again, we'll add the ones for commission, for salary, piece worker, etc. in just a bit. So we're going to come in here and say var HW for hours worked equals new text box. In fact, let's not do it like that. Let's do string. String hours worked. It's going to be a string, so let's call it HWSTR for hours worked. And that's going to be equal to, just like we did before, Microsoft dot Visual Basic dot interaction dot input box. That was nice. Whatever. Oh, goodness. Dot input box. And just like before, let's move this so it's not all on the same line. And we're going to say here, let's use the $, and we're going to say hours worked, and we'll put in here that it has to be between min hours and max hours. And remember, we were calling all this, what do we call it up here? Do we call it add hourly or add? So it's add employee. Well, now, since we know what kind it is, we'll call this add hourly employee. Okay. Then we will create a new text box with this info in it. So I'm going to say var txt hwstr equals new text box, and we're just going to basically set it up right away. So the text is going to be equal to hwstr, like that. And that's got to be text, not txt. I think it's a capital too. Like that. Yeah, it looks good. All right. So that's that one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all this, which is going to give me an error, and that's okay. Collect from the user the hours worked. Let's change this and validate between 0 and 84. Here we'll do this. So that'll be hourly rate. And we'll validate that it's between 0.00 and 99.99. So this is going to be hourly rate string. And this will be, that's hours worked. And this will be hourly rate. And this will be min H rate. This will be max H rate. And again, we'll create a new text box. All right. And after we've done that, we're not done. I'm going to say emp is equal to employee service. We're still not going to be done after this. Dot create. Don't I have a create hourly employee in there? I'll have to check that out in just a minute. And we're going to pass to that the first name, the last name, the hours, and the rate. All right, now don't worry about this. We're going to fix this up in just a minute. Now, before we do this, a couple things. First, I want to check my employee service to see if I have one of these. Where's my services? There it is. All right, we'll have to look at that in just a minute. But what did I forget to do here? All right. Well, the answer is I have to validate it. I've set it up, but now I have to validate it. Okay. So if not validation both dot validate decimal input, and what do we want to validate here? txt hwstr, and what is this? Well, it's the hourly rate. And we have to make sure that it is between, that's hourly rate. I didn't want hourly rate here. I wanted hours worked. Hours worked. Jeez Louise, Jeff. And you already know this, but it has to be between min hours and max hours. All right. Now, it doesn't like something here, so we'll look at that in just a second. Okay, so let's check validate decimal input and see what we're missing. We're probably missing something. Okay. Doing some of this on the fly, and some of this I wrote down a little earlier. So there's decimal. String is decimal. Error message. We just have the value in the name. So what we want to do here, we don't want to validate just that it's a decimal input. We want to validate that it's within range. There was something we did in here that was a range thing. Attempt to get valid. That's it. That's the one we want. I think we're still going to get an error, but that's okay. All right. We'll put in here just out hours. Out decimal hours. All right. Now it doesn't like something, but we're getting there. It's not null here. Text box with this info in it. I think we can just use HWSTR. There. So what are we doing here? All right. We're coming in and we're saying here, all right, attempt to get a valid input. Grab whatever we put into the text box, which we will call hours worked, and verify that it is between min hours, which is 0, and max hours, which is 84. And for an output, just call it hours. All right. Now let's see if we can do a similar one here. All right. Oh, hello. All right. So now in here, what we want to validate is HRSTR. Now it is hourly rate. and that's min H rate and max H rate. And this will be rate. Oh, and there's still some errors in here. Well, let's fix those right now. And let's fix this one. All right. This says if we're not able to do the validation, what do we want to do? We could just return, but let's do a little more. Let's do a message box dot show, and we'll say hours worked, hours worked must be between, we can add our $sign here, min hours and max hours. Okay. We will say here hours worked out of range, and this will be message box dot, doesn't like something in here. Oh, I didn't close this. Here. So message box dot well, we want an icon. How about buttons? What doesn't it like here? Let's hit enter. Message box buttons dot OK, and message box icon dot error. So in English, if we couldn't validate it, give us an error message. All right. And then let's do the same thing down here. Of course, we'll change the error. Don't worry, so this will be hourly rate. And it's got to be hours worked. I don't know what's going on with me here. So that's hourly rate. Must be between min H rate and max H rate. Hourly rate out of range. All right, now let's create this. First name, last name, hours, and rate. Boom. Now it's giving me that error because we don't have that create employee, which I thought I did have. And then we can break. And then we're going to do a similar thing in just a second for piece worker, for a commission worker, and for salaried worker. I'm already probably getting up here in time, 19 minutes, so I'm okay. Let me pause for a second. I want to just take a quick look at employee service. While I'm looking at it, and I'm wondering if I can, we'll see in just a second, if I can just do this. Employee service dot add. Doesn't like that either. Just see what's in here. So, oops. Oh my goodness. Employee service dot, oh boy. do want to create an employee here of that type, but there isn't anything like that. So create hourly employee. Got this. All right, I'm going to have to stop. I'm going to stop here, figure out what the heck the problem is. Come back, do the piece worker, do the commission worker, do the salaried worker. So I'll be back with that shortly.